Hello and welcome to round 3. I would like to play first. Good with this. Vessel of Nascency makes a surprising number of cards keepable. All right. So yeah, let's get our vessel on. There's no point in sacking it now, because it just lets them know what's in our hand and if we have Delirium on and all sorts of other things. We'll just do it into turn. I guess we'll probably take the island here, although it's worth thinking about whether we want this island or this island. I think I'm going to go with the third choice. It's a little unconventional. But I think it'll work. I think it'll work. Ginny wants to come out and play. Followed by her big brother, Steve. It took until the end of the format, but here we are. Your name is Steve. Like, I don't want to trade Ginny for a Wicker Witch. That's not what I want to do. But it does mean if I do trade Ginny for a Wicker Witch, we get a creature in the graveyard. If I draw another island, we've got this, and it makes Bob so much better. Yeah, I think if I can get them to trade a 2-mana 2/1 for a 3-mana 3/1, we're happy about it. Like, Delirium is irrelevant in this deck, and we're close to achieving it with a creature. They also don't have this plus something to gang block Steve. Yeah, like a Trump Dog ain't gonna do it. Especially if that Trump Dog happens to be tapped. It's like the combat trick would be pretty bad here. So I'm going to get in this first hit and protect from Trump Dogs. I mean, it looks a little bit like Donald, doesn't it? Oh, it's a gossip manga. It is real. So we have some problems here, most of which are fine by just attacking. We could pass and make our dude bigger. We could sleep paralysis this guy and put them in a world of hurt. We could draw a freaking island and blow up their world. But I think again we're better off attacking and probably getting another solitary hunter down. There's a possibility that they don't block, but I kind of think they have to there. So we can relax a little bit here, depending on what they do. That's not a trade I'm thrilled about, but it's a trade that happened. Alright, that we're cool with. So it's a Mangler, eh? I kind of want to cast Sleep Paralysis here. What happens if I paralysis that? They have to tap this guy in response, and then we're just off to the races. I don't want to pass. That doesn't strike me as a good line. And with the Mangler coming up, we don't have to be... Like, we're kind of okay racing. It feels weird to sleep paralysis an Inspiring Captain. But I still think they've got Rush of Adrenaline in hand. And now they've got to decide if they want to take 5 and then swing back for a bunch or not. It's like we can eat up their entire turn if we're willing to just block this. How much damage are we taking potentially if we don't? 5, 6, 7. I don't really want to trade like that. Yeah, with Welcome to the Fold, we probably just relax and do some blocking. It soaks most of their turn if I block the Rabble with the Hunter. They've very carefully left up a single red, basically at every spot. So one interesting block if they swing with both is just to block the companion with the Solitary Hunter where they'd need a trick anyway. I'll swap turns with you. Now, if they've got the Rush of Adrenaline here, they're really incentivized to use it, and they don't. So I've been worried about the wrong card for the whole game. This is kind of the droid I was looking for, in that we can steal this guy, but I'm just going to mangle it and cast the Pacifist so we can cast 2 spells this turn. Like maybe they cast something else we want to steal. It's also cute to get Bob going and then Welcome to the Fold, but... And we may be able to do that if they don't cast something significant next turn. Oh, that's just incorrigible. I'll probably trade that for the Pacifists, I think. Well, oh not, oh not. Alright. So I think I like Bob pass. And then plan on Welcome to the Folding the Trump Dog and swinging with a Delirious Bob real soon. Again, the Trump Dog is kind of what I want to get off the table, I think, because it's just so good with combat tricks, and that's kind of what red-white decks are usually doing. So we'll see what's out, what's left up, etc., etc. Get rid of the sleep paralysis, but it's not going to untap this turn. So that should let us easily answer Nahiri. Alright, so let's snag Home Slice. There are some combat tricks that stop that. They didn't have one. So now I think we just send both blobs at Nahiri and probably get through that. It's not great. We're going to lose the actual blob. I mean, I could just send everything at their face, but, like, she's got to be dealt with. This still leaves us with a pretty good board state, just not an amazing one. I mean, if by not amazing you mean you have your opponent completely annihilated on board, the problem is there's 5 cards in their hand. Like, they're going to be things and stuff. And we're drawing lands. Yeah, we're in a position now where we just kind of need to try to put pressure on them. We could have something. We don't. Puncturing Light would be really bad here. Alright, I don't have it. I usually keep 1 land in hand, but not so much on holding 2. Rebel, rebel. I will attack with your trump dog. Don't think I won't. Oh, you gonna tap it now? I see what you did. That's the reason to hold multiple lands, sure. We don't have any doubles with either color that I can remember, so I don't think that actually matters. That's pretty good. Because them topple guys sure are tasty. Humph. I think I care more about that than this because I've already got things that can attack into it, but we'll see. That was a pretty good draw too. I want to throw one away and put him to 6. Not really. Like, we can make the same attack next turn and not chump attack a dude in. Oh, it's pretty good now, though, isn't it? We should be able to get value off of the scrutiny. Because, like, they want to block here and eat this guy. But then if I scrutiny this, both my guys live and one of theirs dies. And they take 3 damage while it's all happening. And we could even pop the clue into a combat trick and have beautiful things happen. Or a land. Like, this still doesn't let them sack that and trade them. So I think we're good here. Another welcome to the fold, eh? Kind of sucks here because we can't really do much with it, but it could make a Ghostly Wings better. This is going to kill whatever it blocks. But with them at 1, I mean, I think you just go for it here. We could play Welcome to the Fold with no targets. Alright, they just didn't have anything. That works. It's important to look at the life totals. Surprisingly, they matter in Magic. Alright, so they're on the aggressive side, but also with a Planeswalker, and that's something we need to be aware of. It's also one that can just eat enchantments, like, for free. So the sleep paralysis, although they're still good, death is the greatest adventure. Good game. I like this guy. Huzzah. So they're like that great combination of aggressive with Planeswalkers. I think that makes me want to ditch the sleep paralysis and run the Silent Observer over it. It's like, why give them free targets for Nahiri? We could look at something like a Manic Scribe. Gloom Widow's a good attacker to keep pressure on. Just the Wind is reasonable, but not amazing. The Censor was good that game. I think we keep it. Yeah, it lets us put some pressure on with a Silent Observer. Something with Ghostly Wings on it. That's another enchantment Nahiri can exile, but I'm kind of okay with that one because we can just sort of flob it. That's a technical term, a flob. Flob. Flob, 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 flob. I might want another Silent Observer. But I might not. Let's try this. We'll just keep it to 40 cards this time. This hand leaves a bit to be desired. But again, I don't think you can mulligan 3-spell hands in limited. Like, that's just not going to work out for you most of the time. You're mulliganing too much if you do that. I think. It's like Silent Observer looks great against everything that's happening here. All right. Well, I was going to say I'm not sure if we're going to burn a spell just to stop that, but there's no point in letting the damn thing grow. And we're going to have it blocked here in just a little bit. Where were you? But we have the ability to slow everything down here. I wouldn't have thought Masquerade would be that great against what we're facing, but I suppose it could be. I'd really like to play 2 spells this turn, but I can't. So I guess we won't. Just look at doing some serious blocking. We don't want that vampire getting out of control here. If you can attack, Stensia Masquerade's pretty bad for the opponent. Like, what do they do here if I swing in with a Stitch Mangler? Probably not anything that's particularly good, and the fact that I can cast 2 spells after doing it, I think is just great. Although at this point, I may just want to welcome... Well, I'm going to welcome to the fold the Cather's Companion anyway. I guess they could have a trick and do something with that. Yeah, let's just be reasonable here. Like, I can always set up Ghostly Wing shenanigans here in a little bit. Like, taking the Companion is fine. So, I think I have to block. I don't think they have a trick, though. Because wouldn't you... Maybe they've got a burn spell after combat. Because wouldn't you attack with the Companion if you had a trick? Oh, gods, this just gets better and better. So, if I Ghostly Wings... Jenne, we get an attack this turn, and next turn I can just steal that. This has a lot of potential. I mean, I can welcome to the fold at instant speed now, which is kind of everything I want to do. So I can take something whose toughness is 1, 2, 3, 4 currently. That's only if they deal with this. If they don't, then screw them. I won't deal with it. Yeah, if they're just going to keep taking it, that's great. So again, I could steal something or just leave up flipping Throbby. I'm going to leave up Throbby flips. Plus, instant speed, welcome to the fold. All right, with aim high, I think we just keep going on with the thing that we do. Puts him pretty close to dead next turn. I'm not even really sure what needs to happen for them to get out of it. Nahiri would do it. That was like the nicest opponent I've ever played against. Kudos to you, Casey Jason. So I think that was a fitting end to Shadows over Innistrad. We got to do a lot of what I wanted. We got to steal a giant unruly mob and welcome them to the fold. We got to play a tireless tracker. We stitched mangled people out. We played different sideboard options, and we did get to play with one of my favorite cards in the set, the Thrabbing Gargoyle. We even had a crawling sensation in our sideboard. Sounds good to me. I expect what we've got is 2 weeks of Cube coming, and then Eldritch Moon. I think that's how it works out. But we'll see. Either way, I will see you here Monday. And also get hyped for GP Montreal. I'm going to be there, so if you're there, come by and say hi. Thanks for tuning in, folks. I will see you next Monday right here on SeemsGoodMagic.com.